Hey everybody, Kimmel's Irish Pub, movie review, Scorched Earth. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. It stars, the only reason I found it, it stars Gina Carano, I think that's the way you say it, an ex-MMA fighter who has become an actress. And I've seen her in some other things. She was in Deadpool. The first thing I saw her in was In the Blood, if you've seen that. But she's been in Haywire, I've seen that one. And you know, she plays some other smaller roles in a lot of different movies, Kickboxer and Extraction, a couple of movies that she was in. Maybe you've seen her. She, as I said, is an ex-MMA fighter who has now become an actress. So, good action film here, or you know, an action film. I don't know if it's going to be any good or not. According to the critics, 11% at Rotten Tomatoes. Oof. Audience 43. IMDb has it at 5.8, and essentially she's a bounty hunter in a post-apocalyptic world. And what is she doing? I'm usually hunting for bounty. She's trying to take down a ruthless outlaw. I just wanted to read it to be correct. So I don't know. For this, it's not all about anything but the action. So let's see what the action's like in this. But I'll update you on the plot and synopsis and things like that, and let you know if it's worth checking out. If you like her and the way she performs in these films, I'll let you know if it's worth it. Alright? Stick around. I'll be back and let you know how it's going. Alright? See ya. Hey everybody. Let's do a quick check-in here. We're at the 44-minute and 37-second mark of Scorched Earth. And some background. So the way it becomes scorched, if you will, or how the world almost ends, is something called a cloud fall. The clouds change. I don't know. They call it a cloud fall, but essentially two things happen that damage everything about it. I mean, the floods happen and all that kind of stuff. But after the floods are gone, rain is poisoned. So all the water that comes from the rain is all poisonous, and there's something in the air that will give you black lung if you continue to breathe in the air normally. So because of that, they create currency, which is basically water tablets. So tablets that you put in water to get the poison out. So that's a big thing because you need that to drink. And then silver. So silver is used as to purify the air. So they wear these masks and somehow they use silver, and maybe this is a known thing, I don't know. But it purifies the air that they're breathing. So they become the currency that this world is built off of. So everything is done for tablets and silver. And then there is, and they also create like an authority, a government of some sort that is trying to establish some kind of law or rules in this land. I don't know too much about them, but you do know that the worst crime, the most heinous crime, is driving a vehicle that burns fossil fuels. So the authority or the government hires bounty hunters, and that's where Gina comes in. She is a bounty hunter. They put bounties on these people who are driving cars around. And then she goes out and finds these people and takes them into justice or kills them. And then she receives silver or water tablets or both, in large amounts for her efforts. And that's her whole role in this. There's a very well-known or high-up villain, I guess, if you will, who I think his name's Tom Jackson. His last name is Jackson. I'm not sure if his first name is Tom. Whatever. He has his own town, and it's neat. It's funny because the town is like an old western town. So, I get it. I mean, everything's run down, but it's like they went all the way back to the Old West when they rebuilt it, and it's like saloons and stuff like that. It's interesting. But still, so he runs the whole town, and she's trying to go and, arrest him or whatever, because there's a huge bounty. It's the largest bounty ever given for one of these criminals. And so she's going into his town, but she's disguising herself as, another criminal, in a sense, and trying to get close to him so she can take him down and bring him back or whatever. So that's what's going on, this whole piece. She is from a small little town real close to where Jackson is being holed up. And they have town meetings and things like that. But then that town also decides that they're going to go after Jackson. They don't know she's going after him or whatever, and so they try and capture him as well. That doesn't go as well. But the main part of this movie is her going undercover, if you will, into their little town. I think it's called Defiance, and to try and get him. So that's what's going on now. Nothing earth-shattering. I kind of enjoy the post-apocalyptic movies, and to see how did it all happen? And Cloudfall, with not a lot of explanation, whatever. Climate change or something like that, whatever. But, and then to see what do they use as currency? And I thought that was interesting. So to tie in with the water tablets and the silver for purification, I think that's interesting. The other reason I kind of watched these movies with this Gina girl in it was because of her MMA expertise. And so far, after 44 minutes, very little of her fighting action. There is one scene where she does fight another person, but they're like heavily clothed. From walking around in the wasteland of Earth, what's left of it, they're heavily clothed. When they fight, it's not like awesome in a sense. They just fight and whatever. But one other thing about her, she does all of her own stunts. Nothing major so far, but she does all of her own stunts in most of the other movies. So I'm sure it's going to be that in this one. But again, haven't gotten a lot of that. I'm enjoying the plot. It's okay. But I was expecting more action, more MMA fighting, or whatever. Just fighting in a sense. But that hasn't happened so far. So I'll get back to it here. We're almost halfway there. And see if anything else jumps up, if there's any other fight scenes or stuff like that, or if the plot improves or goes downhill. Who knows? I'll jump into it here a little bit, but I wanted to catch you up where we are so far. So I'll be back in a little bit. All right. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Scorched Earth. Just ended, and it was okay. Not a terrible movie, not as bad as some of the critics. 11% I think is a little harsh. I'm going to put it at about a 6 or a 7. Probably more 6ish than 7ish. Not something to completely avoid by any means. I think this is the kind of movie, again, something maybe late at night. You're looking for something to watch and going to bed or something like that. And it might be on one of your paid channels or free. I would say, hey, go ahead and give it a look and watch it. What I said from the beginning, what I was looking for was action, some fight scenes. So ultimately, she ends up in 3 fights, I think. Now, the first one was okay. That's the one where she was heavily clothed and it was hard to see a lot of the cool moves. But it was okay. The second fight was over real quick. That was a quick one. There wasn't much from that one. And then the third fight, was okay. But again, I guess I'm thinking, if you ever seen In the Blood, that was the one movie I saw her in, and watching her fight in that was really cool. And you can see a lot of her moves. That wasn't as prevalent in this movie, and I was kind of looking for that in this type of movie. The plot was okay, a little different. One thing, I don't know, I made up my own theory. I don't really think this is it, but as I mentioned, she goes undercover in a sense to get Tom Jackson and take him down. But, she spends a lot of time doing it. She's already accepted into the group, and she's living in their community and stuff like that. I think she has plenty of opportunity to take him out and take him back and, get her bounty for him, but she never does that. So my own theory is that, she realizes she's like a bounty hunter and she's rough and rugged and everything like that, and maybe living the lifestyle that he has there might not be too bad. I think she might have thought to herself that she might join the community and therefore wasn't going to take him down. I think that's my thought. Whether that changes or not, I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for you, but ultimately she does attempt to take him down. A little small spoiler, you got to figure that out. But there's a part there where it's like, well, why isn't she doing anything? Maybe they got to make the movie last longer. I don't know. But so my theory was, hey, maybe she's thinking, this is for me. I'm going to change my lifestyle. I'm going to join this Tom Jackson guy and live here for the rest. And then something changes that causes her not to do that. So, good, not great. Be interested to hear what you think. I'm a little disappointed, a little bit more fight, a little more, MMA stuff I thought would have been cool. But I like the whole Scorched Earth thing, and the water tablets and the silver and that kind of stuff. So, and the building of little communities throughout there. They call it New Montana is one where she lives. And I think the other one was called the Other Arizona. Whatever. And back in the Wild West days, riding horses, going to saloons in a sense. Although this is all taking place in the future. So that's it. I won't go on too much longer. I think you understand where I came from. Hopefully you got enough information for you to determine if you want to watch this or skip it. But if you do watch it, let me know what you think, if this was helpful at all. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub. Cue the Irish music.